Today, I'm going to demonstrate WhiteSource's Vulnerability-Based Alerts, or VBA, a feature that was added to WhiteSource in January of 2021. VBA adds the capability to ignore vulnerabilities on an individual basis. To understand why this is useful, let's take a look at how alerts are managed without VBA. In the old system, a user might click on the Per Vulnerability Alerts to see all the vulnerabilities for the selected scope. Users can also get to this view from the Reports Vulnerabilities menu item. While useful, observe that this list does not allow the user to ignore any CVEs. It's simply a list of all the vulnerabilities in the selected scope. If we want to ignore something, a user will need to go to the Per Library Alerts view. This is also available from the Reports Alerts menu item. Once on this view, we'll usually filter it for just security vulnerable issues to see the vulnerabilities. At this point, we can go ahead and select a library or libraries to be ignored, and then click the Ignore Selected button to ignore them. Note that this does not give us the ability to ignore individual CVEs, even though some of these libraries have multiple CVEs associated with them. It's an all or nothing process. Now, let's take a look at an organization with VBA enabled. The first thing I'd like to point out is the addition of a new menu item, Alerts. This menu replaces the Alerts report that used to be on the Reports menu. The two entries, View by Vulnerability and View by Library, map to the UI elements Per Library Alerts and Per Vulnerability Alerts. I'm going to start with the Per Library Alerts. This report is identical to the old Alerts report with the security filter turned on. As before, we can select the library or libraries to be ignored and select that action from the UI. And as before, if we ignore these libraries, all of the CVEs associated with those libraries are ignored. This is the same functionality that exists without VBA. Now let's go back and take a look at the View by Vulnerabilities report. If we sort by library, we can see each vulnerability associated with the library. In this case, we see ANT182 has 5 vulnerabilities associated with it. We now have the ability to come in and select individual vulnerabilities to be ignored. We can do one, a few, or all of them. This level of granularity is not available in the old library report. If we sort by CVE, we can see vulnerabilities that apply to more than one library are clearly shown. If a CVE needs to be ignored in one library but not another, this view makes it very easy to do so. Further, if we expand the scope of the report to include the entire organization and sort by CVE, we can find issues that, while they apply to the same library, are occurring multiple times in different products and projects. This can be really useful if you want to ignore a vulnerability only in one product and project, but leave it active in others. For example, in this case, where this particular project has been scanned with WhiteSource's prioritized technology, the green shield indicates that this vulnerability is not actually reachable in this particular project, so a user might want to go ahead and ignore it. Know that whenever a vulnerability is ignored, it will remain ignored when future scans are made to the same WhiteSource project. New projects or products do not inherit the ignored status, as we consider it a best practice to review all new vulnerabilities when a new project or product is created. I've just shown you how the new vulnerability-based alerting system works. You've seen how the old alerts report is available as the new View by Library Alert report. You've also seen how the new View by Vulnerability Alerts provides much greater granularity when ignoring vulnerabilities at the product, project, or even the organizational level. With this information, Users should feel confident that they can upgrade all of their white source organizations to vulnerability-based alerting without losing the capabilities they have today. When you're ready to upgrade your organizations to VBA, please contact your white source customer success manager or the white source support team. Thank you.